Welcome to the Art Zone. Art Zone is a locally produced document of art in the Rockford area. Throughout this episode, we'll check in on the Art Interactive exhibit at Cafe Esperanto. Then we'll see a video of the Kwanzaa celebration and a recent poetry reading at the Cafe Esperanto.
Hi, I'm Doc Slavkowski, and this is the Art Zone. We're coming to you from the Kortman Gallery, downtown Rockford. And today is opening day here for Art Interactive, an art show sponsored by the Kortman Gallery. It's a group exhibition featuring artists who have previously shown in the Kortman Gallery, but I'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. I do want to tell you about what's going on today's show. We've got a video submitted by A.G. Breeze, and it's featuring Dorothy Page Turner and the Kwanzaa celebration, an African-American celebration that's post-Christmas holiday season. And then we'll show you highlights of poetry reading that was held here at Cafe Esperanto, and we'll be talking with Pat Maggio, the director and host for the poetry readings. And now let's go into a little explanation, because we have a very unique show going on here at the Kortman Gallery, and it's called Art Interactive. And artists were sent a letter explaining kind of a commission using a theme for their artwork. And what we wanted was artwork that the viewer has to kind of participate with the artist in some way, maybe hands-on, or even if it was just a visual kind of volley back and forth. And we do understand that all artwork is interactive, but this show we wanted with obvious viewer participation. And probably one of the most dramatic pieces that actually has a lot of hands-on is this right here, and it's a fax machine, and that was set up. And this was done with Duane Neil, who is an artist in New York. So the instructions on how to operate the fax machine are here, and how you participate in this is Mr. Neil sent from his fax machine in his studio in New York these seed drawings. And what you have here are faxed information that has, like, if you get a close-up of that, there's just a picture there of Sinbad. And this one just has 2 circles on it, and this one has 2 lines going away from each other at a tangent. And then the participant here in the gallery can add to these drawings, send the fax back to Duane Neil at his New York studio. Then he will add to the drawing and send it back again. So, and this can go on and on, actually indefinitely, or just a couple of times. And then whenever the drawing is completed is really up to the people who are viewing it. And here's an example of something that's already gone through. This drawing was sent here, and then this was added to it and sent back to New York. And then this was sent again and added to it. Mr. Neil added these lines here, and then another participant here added the arrows here. So this actually could be sent back again to New York and added to it some more. Maybe we'll do that before we're done here. Here's a drawing where you intellectually interact with this piece, more of a traditional kind of interaction in the arts. This is done by Nikki Posely. And here a piece by Steve Pitkin, and here has some kinetic kind of things to it when you touch it. And then just right around the corner here, this is a very challenging piece. This is, it's actually wrapped. It's one of Cherri Rittenhouse's sculptures. And the participant, or the person who would purchase this, can complete the sculpture. And there are instructions here on how to do it and various options on how you could complete this sculptural piece by Cherri Rittenhouse. Now this is a book that was devised by Gerold Posely, and this is a very interactive piece. This large piece here is done by Maggie Thienemann, and this is called Wall Game, and it's very interactive. Actually, the back of it resembles kind of like a city graffiti wall, and then there's things that you can throw on it. There's basketball hoop, things that Velcroed kind of things to it. That's a real fun piece.
Is an African American harvest celebration. It is celebrated in many homes December 26th through January 1st. Throughout these 7 days, the Nguzo Saba, which means 7 principles, is used as a value system for African Americans, represented by the spirit of our ancestors and their collective experiences. The second dimension is the present, represented by our consistency in maintaining our culture and our commitment to uplift our race. The third dimension is the future, represented by the children that we hope and pray will experience real freedoms in their life. Work very hard to learn how the sun helps us grow rich and healthful foods. Nimu, Sati, and their son Nuti worked very hard for African people. They wanted to be sure Africans remain a strong people.
It just seems like we can't do right. Look how we treated you. But please, sir, forgive us, Lord. We didn't know it was you.
We're back at the Kortman Gallery at Art Interactive, a group exhibition. Here we have a fascinating piece by Brent Jones, which has all kinds of light bulbs and different objects attached to called a birdhouse. And then moving on down here, a piece by Dale Osterly. And this has 2 different images of George Bush. And as far as the interaction goes there, I think it's probably self-explanatory. And then we go on here. This is a fun piece by Michael Bugler. And what's great about this is that you can kind of change the look of the work by either having these flanges or panels open or closed. So if they're closed, you have the stripes. And then here, of course, definitely identifiable as a Steven Anderson piece. And if you see here, it's one frame, but it has 2 different images in it. And it has a slide kind of thing here going through it. And we can move the pieces back and forth, and you have actually 2 different images. That's kind of a very interesting piece. And then this one done by Keith Grace. This is called Free Dick. And it's some jeans here, and I guess I'll try and free Dick. And there we go. It's an image of Richard Nixon.
My name is Pat Maggio. Doc and Jerry asked me if I would continue in the tradition of David Ansinger, who began these readings a couple of years ago, and he really built the record of success here. The room is real nice, and it's so exciting for Rockford poets to actually have a home, because as you know, poetry is the orphan of the arts. So they really have given us a home. And you know, what I would like to see happen with the readings is that we build upon each person's ideas here. And what David, I think, gave to us is a lot of spontaneity and a lot of creative energy, and I want to make sure that that isn't lost. But I would also like us to add some things so we kind of have a dialogue. And I thought tonight, because we kind of did this reading at the spur of the moment, I'm so glad to see everyone here. I thought for a while it might just be me here, but it's good to see everybody.
He didn't really know why he was leaving her. It could have been the pork chops and apple rings she made them for supper every Sunday night, because one time he told her they were his favorite. It made him realize all the sharp edges had been sanded off his life, roped and castrated with a 30-year mortgage and a low-brainer job in the loading dock. So there he was buying gas at the Exxon station on the edge of town, and he stared west as he pumped 10 gallons of no-lead into his 5-year-old Ford Escort. The sun had just gone down, but it left a rim of red on the horizon, a crack in the world where his heart and balls escaped long ago, and he just knew he couldn't stay anymore. He squeezed the keys in his fists, spit on the ground, shuffled his feet, then got behind the wheel and took off without paying for the gas. The lights from town got smaller in the rearview mirror. His tires hummed on new asphalt, and just for a minute there, he couldn't even think of her name. Thanks.
It's called The Doctor. The black frayed terry cloth robe is a doctor's coat today. No stethoscope. We all have hearts here, and with our mean words, we break each other's hearts left and right. He desires to heal the wounds and bandages the invisible ones with images of icons 4 out of 5 children trust. Bert and Ernie, Batman, Aladdin. If his elixirs fail to do the charm, the healing power is in his eyes. Thank you very much.
We are slowly turning into worms, wriggling, writhing, sliding silently in the earth, slipping through the sod in endless passages, stretching longly through circular corridors, weaving, wiggling, winding, wandering worms, sliding on our bellies amongst leaves and moist debris smelling sweetly of decay, taking in our surroundings through sensitive skin, wrapping the simple structure of our nature, groping blindly in the light, seeking security in cool, dark, moistureful spaces, sliding away silently to peaceful solitude.
12:42 on MTV, a short peaceful black silence, followed by a stylized graphic saying simply, "Hang in there." Odd how a plea for you to keep watching their commercials for chips, clothes, and lifestyles can be so different, seen in some circumstance. Alone in a room at night, the shadow of the ceiling fan slowly spinning, it can be strangely touching to imagine MTV cares.
We've got some ideas of things to do in the future, and let me tell you about what really excites me. I feel as though if something can help me with my work and really stimulate me to bring my work to another plateau, that means a lot to me, and that's what I'd like these readings to do. So I would like for us to begin to think about people we'd like to invite so that we can begin to look at poetry as performance art, for instance. So we get some people in here who put music with their art, and Wani Reverts puts her paintings with her poetry, and it's a real interesting mix. So I'd like to see us begin to cross some boundaries and do some exciting things, because Doc and Cherri are so open to our really pretty much doing anything we'd like to see happen. One of the things that they have mentioned that I think would be great to have happen is to do a teleconferencing thing with another reading that might be happening across the country, say in San Francisco, where we read a poem and a poet from the West Coast reads one, and we kind of have an exchange of poetry. So we're thinking about that happening in the future. Also, we would like to begin collecting some work that poets read here, and would like to publish some things.
The evil, silly puppy bit the leaping clam on Burger Kinger's stool, until the freckled, plainish, greenish belly of the mushroom did applaud in amplified clucks. The fish of Janesville clung to Freddy's tree in fear until the puppy left in shame. The fish and mushroom hid the swing set from the puppy. Bertha rescued them later. The fish and Bertha became friends and ate the mushroom. Freddy Krueger smiled and laughed.
She relates. People interrupt her sleep, hover over her blonde waterbed, fleshless figures from her fast-moving past. She relates what they wear, how they act. I submit ignorance. She relates anyway. She's tried to touch them on more than one occasion, yet the spirit moves with rapid precision. I try to convey that REM plays tricks. She shrugs and gives me a haunting kiss.
Dream wakes. The portals are like eyes staring in the dark. examining your soul, the realization that you can sink at any moment hits, the spring lines groan in rhythm.
I'd like to do some things where we talk about the poet as shaman as a possibility. Talk about the creative process and how that works for you. And I mentioned inviting poets also who have different ideas about art and their art and how they present it. I'd like to invite some people from the world of academia. I've had a running feud with them for a long time. But, I invite dialogue. And, I just feel as though this work is really important to the culture. And what we're doing here, as you know, material success, commercial success does not determine in art what's good art. And we've got some really good poets here. We're on the cutting edge. So I'm just real excited about it. And I hope you'll join me in a network of poets that become the Cafe Esperanto poets.
Once again, we're back at the Kortman Gallery at the group exhibition entitled Art Interactive. Here we have an elegant piece that's very hands-on, done by artist Jeffrey Gellick. And it looks like a sculpture, but when you actually put it together like this, it forms a very interesting looking box. Well, actually, I'm doing it backwards, but anyway. So it can be just this box that has some drawings on it, or you can take it apart and form a sculpture out of it. His wife, Joyce Gellick, also has a piece. It's a vessel, and it has little sticks that go inside the vessel, and you really can interact with this, and it has almost the feeling of an ancient Indian piece to it. Here we have a piece by Denise Belezzo, and it's almost like a puzzle, and you can change the artwork. The pieces fit perfectly into this box, and you can either remove them or flip them over and get different imagery. And then on the wall here we have a diptych by Gerold Posely, and it's entitled The Executioner and the Executioner's Wife. Well, everything's just about in place here at the Kortman Gallery, and we're ready for Art Interactive, a group exhibition. So I guess it's time for the opening.
Yeah, you can. That's what I want. I just want you to throw stuff in this. There are some markers here.
This is an artist interaction kind of process, right? So the sculpture is participatory, so that you can hear participatory. All right. Basically, it's one of my carved sculptures, and what the viewer has to do is decide, or the collector, actually you have to buy this piece to tell me what to do. You have to pay money to tell me what to do in this case. That sounds terrible. Doc makes me say things. Okay. That's all right. Underneath here, there are 3 drawings, and you get to make choices, like, all kinds of choices, like color, profile, tongue, lips. You want the tongue sticking out.
That's all I need from you. One word. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good. Is it?
It gave me this show right here. This will be the 6th year that
Say something about, just give me a reaction.
It's a wonderful piece of art. Yeah. Oh.
yeah, fine.
Northern Melancholy.
Look at this and just give a reaction to anything, either about the whole show or this or whatever. Speak directly into that camera, though, into that microphone. Don't. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I. Don't speak to the art. Speak to him.
Yes, I like the eyes. I like the gaze that looks up, and sort of separation from the viewer and the object being looked at. Is that good enough?
That's good.
It just combines creativity with kind of play. Playing with box is a charm, but it also does a lot with light. There's so much you could do with shadows.
Why don't you let me operate that thing for a little while?